We're gonna do the judges, so, let's see, Johnson and Fickes?
Fickes, yeah.
Oh, Fickes, sorry. Gonna have you come up here.
Sure.
All right, thanks for coming.
Mark, you might want to tell them about the issue with the ballot.
Oh, yeah. On the ballot, I think we listed as incumbent for, this is Fickes, right?
Right.
It's actually commissioner.
Right, it's not an incumbent.
Yeah, not an incumbent, so sorry about that. So again, 2-minute opening statement, 1-minute question on the papers that you got. Write down your questions. Dan and Paul will collect them and go over the questions and hand them to me, and I'll ask the questions for each candidate for them to answer, okay? So if you have those papers filled out for the judges, for Alameda County Judge, please fill that out now while they're doing their opening statement. I appreciate it. So welcome, guys. I appreciate you guys being here. Let's see. Let's see, Judge Johnson, can you go first with the opening
Certainly.
statement?
Okay. Where's my
Right
timer?
here, opening statement.
As soon as you start talking, the clock will
The
start.
clock starts.
2 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, ready? Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for having me. My name is Michael Johnson. I'm candidate for Superior Court Judge C12. I've worn a lot of different hats in my career, both from a small startup law firm doing plaintiff's work and defendant's trial work, then moving to a corporate setting with AT&T and Warner Media, doing a lot of consumer and business and government and healthcare work. I've had the opportunity to get a lot of great, endorsements in my career and in my candidacy thus far. I'm happy to have the mayor and the vice mayor as two of my supporters for this campaign. I've also received the endorsement of several sitting judges as well as retired judges. One of my proudest endorsements and one of my proudest comments was from the presiding judge, who, in my capacity as a temporary judge, says my work is among the best in the county. I sit as a temporary judge for the last 4 years, hearing family law, traffic, small claims, and civil harassment. I've worked a lot in the Alameda County community. I've lived here 35 years. I've been an attorney for 33 years. I'm past president of the Alameda County Bar Association. I'm past president of the Alameda County Volunteer Legal Service Corporation for the last 4 years through 3 different presidents. I've served as general counsel for Charles Houston Bar Association, which is the African American Bar Association in the Bay Area, serving the community. 30 seconds, okay, thank you. Serving the community to the best of my ability. I'd really appreciate your vote. I'm here to answer any questions that you have. Thank you for your consideration.
All right, Mr. Fickes, go ahead.
All right, good evening, everyone. My name's Mark Fickes. I'm currently a commissioner with the Alameda County Superior Court. It is always special to be in Hayward here for me. My grandparents lived here, ran a dry cleaning business here in Hayward. My father was born and raised here in Hayward, and I spent a lot of time in my childhood here in Hayward. And so it's always special to feel like I'm coming back home a little bit. Although I do live in Oakland right now with my husband, and we're now empty nesters, our kids are in college. So as a commissioner, basically I preside in Department 603 in the Fremont Hall of Justice, where I preside over criminal infractions, which are mostly vehicle code violations and other such violations. So I hear hundreds of cases every single week. And my job as a commissioner is to make sure that everyone comes into my court feels like they're heard, that they are shown respect and given dignity, and that they are afforded due process of law. In addition to my work as commissioner, I serve on the outreach, or I used to serve on the outreach committee, where I was devoted to making sure that we try to make our courts as open and inclusive as a place can be. I'll add that I'm currently the only openly gay man to serve as a commissioner, and if elected as judge, I would be only the 4th or 5th maybe openly gay male judge. I was recently appointed by the Chief Justice of the California Supreme Court to serve on an advisory committee with the Judicial Council, which is designed to assure fairness and equal administrative justice throughout the court system throughout the state of California. I also was recently appointed by our new presiding judge to actually supervise the incoming crop of temporary judges. Temporary judges are different than commissioners. They too are appointed by the court, but they're not employees. They volunteer their time. They come in a minimum of 3 days in a year to cover calendars when people like me or other judges are on vacation. And it's a valuable service they appoint to the court, but I felt very privileged to be told that I would be mentoring some of our younger crop of temporary judges who are presiding in traffic courts. There we go.
All right, thank you guys both. Did anybody have questions that they filled out that they wanted to
These cards, just pass them down to Jan or myself.
And I
have them later on.
You just ask it. Just ask it.
Just ask, yeah. Okay, go ahead.
So there's a statistic that says over 80% of African American students that don't graduate from high school go to prison, and it's 70% for Latino youth. If it's that, I'm sure that for Asian Pacific Islanders and for our white students, they're not far behind. My question is do you fear that do you feel as if there is a correlation between early care education and the prison populations that seem to rise in California?
Both of you get to answer this, so.
1 minute each.
Yeah, 1 minute each, so Johnson first.
The question is, do I feel that that statistic adds to recidivism and prison?
Do you feel that there's a correlation between that statistic and early care and education?
I haven't really seen the statistic that you're referring to. I think it's commonly thought that underprivileged youth don't have the opportunities that everyone else does, which leads to certain negative consequences in society, but I really can't comment on the study that you're referring to.
Same question.
Yeah, so I'm not familiar with that study either, but what I would say more generally speaking is that what I see in my courtroom, for example, is sometimes there can be a bit of a revolving door in and out of the justice system, where particularly young people who don't have employment, don't have certain skill sets, they find themselves in and out of a revolving door. I'm in traffic court, right, so it's not felonies or things like that, but I see kids come in, they get in trouble for not having a driver's license, they don't have the resources to figure out how to get a driver's license, but they're driving to get to work and make money to help contribute to their family, then they get picked up again for another driver's license ticket. So one of the things I would say though is that we have tools like diversion available to us in order to address the fact that young offenders do deserve a second chance and an opportunity to find a way to get out of a revolving door in and out of the justice system. But again, I'm not familiar with the statistics you're talking about, so I don't have a direct comment on them.
have a question.
Whenever I'm asked on the ballot to vote for a judge, I do a little, I do as much research as possible, but it's, I don't know what to think sometimes, unless there's been a case that I've read about, or something hits me in the judge's resume or background. So I'm wondering, for both of you, what do you find rewarding in the work that you do as a judge, or in your legal work and experience, or as a judge?
Do I get to go first this time, or are we going to trade off?
You go.
Thanks. So thank you for that question. I'll tell you, one of the things that I find rewarding is the fact that I get to interact with the public on a daily basis, and most of the people that come into my courtroom, they're not represented by lawyers, so it's really me having a direct interaction. I mentioned this on my website, but I'll tell you, recently I had a young man who came into my court, and he'd been in 3 or 4 times before I was appointed to my job and couldn't get his driver's license. And I probably shouldn't admit this, but my boss, the former presiding judge, told him he had one last chance to get a license. He came into my courtroom, he didn't have it. So I asked him, why don't you have your license yet? What's going on with your life? And he talked to me a little bit about his challenges with reading, his challenges on how to study and how to actually take a test. And so what I love about my job is I actually got to talk to him a little bit about how I helped my kids study for their own driver's licenses. I've got 2 19-year-olds, so I've been through it. And I said, look, why don't I'll give you one last try, even though this was supposedly your last chance. And he looked at me and he said, I don't have a father. All right, I'll stop there.
Hi, that was a great question, thank you. And I'm glad that you asked the question, because most people don't know, why am I voting for a judge? I don't know anything about them, right? So assuming we both do the same type of work, we both have trial experience, we both do traffic and whatnot. What do I like about it? Helping people who don't understand the process, who may need an interpreter and cannot understand what's going on. If it's an ambulatory issue, a senior citizen, whatever, help them get to the courtroom, understand what's going on, and explain the process to them so it's not so scary. No one goes to court when they're super happy. It's always a traumatic experience, right? It doesn't have to be. If you understand what's going on, the judge explains to you and sees you and hears what you're saying, right, and gives you the opportunity to be heard. So what I like about it is the interaction with people, but also treating people as people, right? Not just a number going through the court system, letting them know what's going on and helping them understand and get through what's a traumatic part in their life usually. Sure.
Another question.
Me. Oh.
You're gonna do timing and the
As
budget?
being a judge, you have to be fair and impartial.
Yeah.
What qualities do you have that make you fair and impartial?
Are you first?
Do we go
We're
back?
trading,
Do
so I
we
think
switch?
you're-
Michael.
I go first this time? My reputation for being fair and impartial. My reputation for not answering any questions or committing to any person or political philosophy or whatnot. When you come to me and come in front of me as a judge, you just want me to hear your facts of your case. You don't want me to have a preconceived notion or an opinion about you or people that look like you or people that have cases like you. You want me just to look at your matter on the facts always. So those are the qualities I possess, and that's why the presiding judge said that the work that I do as a temporary judge is among the best in the county. Thank you.
All right, is your timer ready to go?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, I would say that my life experience is part of what shows that I'm fair and impartial. I am the only candidate in the race that has prosecuted criminal cases and defended people who are accused of crimes. I was both a deputy district attorney early in my career, and I spent time on the court-appointed attorneys panel representing indigent defendants where there was a conflict of interest with the public defender's office. I have tried cases on the plaintiff side and on the defense side in civil litigation. I've represented people from everything to I've represented union workers, I have represented employers, I've represented people unfairly subject to discipline, and I've also represented businesses that were unfairly accused of disciplining people improperly. And so what I come to you with is more than 50 jury trials to my name, in which I've represented really pretty much every side of every major legal issue that comes before the court. And in fact, with the exception of a limited family law experience, and I've done some of that, I've actually handled almost every case a judge could be called to handle.
All right, thank you. Next phase now is 1-minute closing statements from each of you. I can go with you.
All right, well, time goes fast, so I'm going to talk real fast and read from my phone if you'll indulge me. I'm proud to say that I'm endorsed by Elisa Marquez, who is sitting here in our room today. I'm endorsed by the Alameda County Democratic Party. I'm endorsed by the the Albany Democratic Club. I'm endorsed by the Alameda County Stonewall Democratic Club. I'm endorsed by the Tri-Valley Democratic Club. I want to read from you quickly an endorsement I received. By the way, I'm also endorsed by 35 sitting judges and commissioners of the Alameda County Superior Court. A criminal defense attorney wrote this about me. Commissioner Fickes is compassionate, kind, considerate, and quite frankly, a fantastic communicator. He has an aura about him that I've seldom seen, having worked with him regularly for more than a year. Appearing before him 3 to 5 times a week, I grow increasingly confident that Commissioner Fickes has not only the experience, composure, and commitment to justice, but also that special ingredient to be a standout judge who commands respect and upholds the law while remaining accessible.
Judge Johnson.
Thank you, and thank you all for this opportunity to speak with you. It's kind of like speed dating, we have to go so fast. But I brought some materials for you. I'd like to hand them out to you when we're done, so you can look at my website and see a little bit more about me. Fairness, I loved your question earlier. That's what you look for in a judge. You not only experience, but you look for fairness and impartiality. Every reference I have, every judge who's endorsed me, many of us have the same judges who endorse us. has said the same thing about me. I look forward to the opportunity to speak to you. I'd love to speak to you afterwards if you'd like to, but I appreciate your vote and your support. And please visit my website to find out more information about me before you vote this evening. Thank you.
All right, thank you, guys.